So the next line in the Lord's Prayer, the next section of how Jesus taught us to pray, is this beautiful line. Many of us are familiar with it, even if we're not familiar with the scriptures. He says, you should pray this way: give us today our daily bread. Give us today our daily bread. Jesus teaches us to pray, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And then with this new section, in lots of ways, I feel like this is a moment where the prayer, it's almost like the rubber really starts to meet the road for us. We've been reorienting how we think about life and who God is. And now in this moment, in light of that foundation, we begin to pray this simple prayer that focuses us on this idea: give us today our daily bread. Do you know what one of the reasons I love praying along these lines is it is this incredible invitation to actually live into the fullness of life right here and right now. Do you know that one of our kind of common temptations as human beings is to want to live in the future? We think about the future. We worry about the future. We wonder what will happen in the future. We dream of the great things in the future. We can end up living in the future. Elsewhere, Jesus kind of teaches us and says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's got enough problems of its own. Just seek after God first. Here he says, just pray like this. Not God, give me what I'm going to need a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or 3 months from now, or 5 years from now. He says, no. Just begin to pray and focus your life around this wonderful invitation. God, would you give us today our daily bread? It's an invitation to live in the present. It's an invitation to not be caught up thinking about how much you need to store up for the future. It's an invitation to not be caught up just thinking about how good life will be someday or how bad life will be someday, but just live right here, right now. Just pray, God, it's an invitation to live today. To just pray, God, would you give us today our daily bread? Not asking that we have enough to store for a long time or even feeling this compulsion for all the luxuries of life, but an invitation to live in the beauty and simplicity and contentment of life, saying, God, would you give us today our daily bread? In the Old Testament, there's a story of God's people, the Israelites, and they were slaves for a long time in Egypt, and they get freed from that, and now they're living in freedom, but they're kind of in this period of time where they're living in the wilderness. They're kind of mobile and almost kind of camping, going place to place, and God provides for them bread daily. It's called manna, and it's this bread-like thing that just seems to come from the heavens every day. And he's telling them, look, there's going to be just enough for every day. You can't store it up. You can't freeze it. You can't, try and pile it up. He says, I'm going to teach you, this is what it looks like to be my people. It's just to depend on me daily. I think that maybe this is a moment in time where we live right here, right now, that we can find incredible freedom and peace by praying this prayer. By saying, God, I want to be someone who actually isn't so worried about the future or so concerned about what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, or a month from now, or 6 months from now. But there's such freedom to go, if I have daily bread, and to actually begin to enjoy what we have now. Not to look backwards at how life used to be, not to look forward at what we wonders ahead, but to live right here, right now. So as you pray that today, as you focus on praying, Lord, give us today our daily bread, I hope it allows you to break the grip of the future on your life or a longing for the past, and allows you to live in joy and freedom in the moment. I hope as you pray that prayer, as you focus on that invitation, the future may be uncertain. If you live in the future, your heart's going to be uncertain. Your soul's going to be uncertain. If you can break that grip and say, God, would you just give me today, give us our daily bread? There's incredible freedom there for you. There's peace there for you. There's contentment there for you. You can actually experience what God has for you right here, right now as we pray together. God, give us today our daily bread.